y'all, it's your girl Malika. Wow, it's the end of the year. That's really crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of From the Block. It's a solo episode, which I haven't done one in like a couple of months, but I'm really excited for this one because this one's gonna be really personal. I have new followers, which I rock with y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. But some of y'all, y'all don't really know me like that. So this is your opportunity to get to know me, Hey. So I figured since it is the end of the year, it would make a lot of sense to just do like a year end review. So this video is gonna be, I guess, kind of lighthearted. I mean, we're gonna talk about a few serious stuff, but it ain't gonna be no like tearjerker. Definitely not that. But anyway, so I guess where do I want to start? Oh yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, y'all. So January, that was a pretty chill month. Really, the only thing that I had in mind at the time, it was really two things. It was one, making sure that my aunt was gonna, get better, and I would be able to see her over the summer. And then two, making sure that my podcast, right, was lit, it was popping. Um, I knew that I wanted my own studio space, but I just didn't know how I was going to get that. Like, I didn't know, like, where to begin with the process. So at the time, I was still filming at Georgia State's CMI building, and it was free. So I was like, all right, I wasn't a student, but you know me, I've still finessed my way. So February, that's when things started getting a little weird. Mind you, I'm still post undergrad. I don't have a job. The funds is getting a tad bit low. And on top of that, I'm still uncertain with my podcast. But right, let me tell y'all what happened. Actually, I never even explained this to y'all. Okay, so I'm about to say it right now. I can't name no names, but I'll tell y'all off camera. So, as I said before, February was like a little iffy. But how I find guests for the show, I really just email and DM different people. And it was just one rapper in particular. I was like, let me just like email him and see what happens. Like, I don't know, I was just bored one day. And his team actually responded. And I was like, bro, God is so good. Like, things about to start looking up for me. It's lit. They was like, yeah, send us the interview questions so we could, approve them. So, me, I'm a writer. I sent it in so fast. It was mad good, too. And then they was like, yeah, bet. So, we charge a fee of $5,000. I was like, oh, wow. Y'all for real? Yeah, that was for real. So, I was thinking to myself, right? I was like, if I get this rapper on my show, this will really like boost my platform. Like, I would definitely be, up there, especially in the city of Atlanta. So I came up with the team and I came up with the plan. And I was like, okay, guys, let's create like a little sponsorship package. And we're going to go around to different businesses pitching the idea, raising money. Well, I was the only one that was actually doing stuff. The other members were not contributing. And like, you know what I mean? I was grinding. I'm talking about I was walking in the rain, y'all, with an umbrella, wet papers, going door to door to different businesses, pitching it. Well, I raised no money, but I learned a valuable lesson though. So I don't know. It was weird. I had a few people tell me like, for that particular rapper, I don't think you should pay 5,000. And most likely, if you grind hard enough, you could really find someone even bigger that would be willing to do it for free. And on top of that, even if you pay him the five like grand, is he even gonna like promote your show? So you doing all of that, and it's not even guaranteed if he's even gonna like promote your show. It's not guaranteed like if he comes on, is he gonna be like interactive? Is it gonna be like a really really good interview? So I did some thinking and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna just pass on the opportunity. But I was so sad because I was just like, damn, what am I gonna do? Like, I want people to take me serious. Now I found two rappers, right, that are kind of known in Atlanta, and I had them on in the beginning of the year. If you go on the YouTube page, you'll be able to see them. And I was really grateful for that. But I do remember that this one particular rapper had a really like big buzz. And the fact that I only had the audio, like I didn't have no visuals. Oh my God. I wanted to cry that day, but I had to hold it together. And I just felt like the other members on my team, like, I just felt like they weren't taking it as serious as I was. but I didn't know how to like really say it because I started out with them in 2021. So to just like cut ties, I didn't like, I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable. My brother, I'm like skipping, well, hopefully I'm not skipping ahead. But my brother, he came into town and he was like, I see you're serious about this, but here's the thing. I will invest, but you have to drop them two girls. And I was like, damn, like why would you why would you say that? But he was like, no, I'm not gonna put my money in something that is not it's not like gonna be lucrative. You it seems like you're the only one that's trying. So he gave me money for my LLC, he gave me money for my trademark and other business stuff. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to do what I have to do. And that was really difficult because I'm like, I have to do all this by myself. And he was like, he was like, you was already doing this all by yourself anyway. But I was like, okay, still, but at least like being solo, I didn't have that in mind just yet. But I just told myself, all right, just keep pushing, keep going. So, March comes around and life gets really real. So mind you, the funds are still like I'm just being transparent. The funds was, still getting lower. February was low. March it was lower. And something like really traumatic happened to me. My aunt, who was my second mom, had passed away from cancer. And I'm 23 years old. So that was my first time in like my whole 23 years of living. That was my first time experiencing grief, and that was my first time experiencing death of someone that is like super close. So all of these emotions were like hitting me. I was confused about what I wanted to do in life. I was confused on how to. Oh wait, let me take that back. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to go about getting it. And then I'm hit with like grief, and the way how things were set up, I didn't have time to grieve because I had to be there for my family. So like I'm not too emotional. So the fact that I didn't get a chance to like really cry and like really like, feel stuff, I think it did kind of take a toll on my mental. And but I just knew that I just had to keep on going. So fast forward, right, about 2 months later, I'm still going through the grieving process. I really don't even know what's going on in my life, low key. But like I said, I'm gonna keep on saying it. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to go about getting that. So I told myself, I was like, I want to go to grad school. I know it sounds really crazy. I have all this going on, and I was like, I want to go to grad school, but I wanted to do something really specific. Like I didn't want to do English, but I knew that going to grad school was going to help me with this. It was going to help me become a better like researcher, writer, all of that. So my cousin is a professor. She teaches at Brooklyn College, and my old professor at Georgia State, he had connected me with one of his former students who's currently a PhD student. So I just hit them up and I was like, "Yo, this is what I want to do. I want to be in media. I want to become a writer. I want to become like a little, like entertainment journalist. But I want to really focus on hip hop. I want to focus on things that interest me." So then they was like, "Hey, I think you should do American Studies." And I was like, "Oh, for real? What's that?" And I Googled it and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." So it was just grind mode for like 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to complete my application. And I had to submit like a 10-page paper about like who I was as an individual, and then like a 12-page paper on like my best like writing work. And I don't know, y'all. I just did it. Um, and I didn't know what the future was gonna look like, but I was just like, look, yeah, I'm gonna just do it. Oh, and then right. Hopefully, I'm not like. Hopefully, I'm not jumping. Am I jumping around in the story, or is it like flowing? I'm asking a question. Oh, it's flowing. Okay. So, keep this in mind. Remember how a couple of minutes ago I said that I filmed my show at the CMI building at Georgia State. Well, summertime, the building closes, so I didn't have a location. Like I keep on saying, I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to get it. So I was interning at this podcast, and it was cool for what it was, but I just knew that I just needed more. and I really needed guidance and direction, and I wasn't getting that. And but I just told myself, I was like, I mean, I could sit around and complain, or I could just get up and just figure it out. So I was Googling, but you know what's crazy? Even with like trying to ask questions, it's hard when you don't know what questions to ask. Like, you confused, but you don't know like what questions to ask. And that was the boat that I was in. But I promise you, y'all, I just kept on telling myself, all right, just ground yourself and just keep it pushing. So I had to take the time out to just figure myself out. And here's what I really encourage y'all to do: if you're in a space where you're just really confused, just write. I mean, if you can talk, you can write. So it's a no-brainer, really. So I remember just constantly just getting writing in my journal just things that I wanted, and then different ways of how I was going to go about. So at the time, right, all I had was me and my old camera person. And my brother, he was like, "Well, I think you need a co-host. Hit up your friend." And I was like, I don't know. But he was like, "Bruh, just do it. And I'm investing in this too, so you have no choice, but you got to do it." So I was like, okay. I hit up my friend. Actually, no, pause. I didn't even hit up my friend. My brother did, actually. He came to the house. We came up with the, business plan for the podcast, different people who we were going to hit up to, for like different sponsors to invest, and also like how the show was going to be laid out. And everything was cool. I was hopeful. So what was I doing? Oh yeah. So I was looking on Twitter and Insta, right? Because those are like my search engines for different studios in Atlanta. And I found one, and I took a tour, and I loved it. He's smiling because he already know. I took a tour, and I loved it. So, but here's the thing though, I didn't have no equipment. So then I was like, okay, I could do one or two things, because I already have, a business bank account. So I could use my credit to buy all the equipment that I needed. But I didn't know what equipment to get, and I didn't want to like waste my money like that. So Georgia State, even though I wasn't a student, I still know how to like finesse my way. So they have this building in Adderhold where like all types of camera equipment, like everything that you need, they have it. They got mics, SD cards, Canon cameras, all of that. It was the summertime. I went to the building. I got all the equipment. I'm talking about, I probably was carrying like 5 pounds of shit on my back. My car almost got towed. It was hot. And I was just like, it's okay. It's just for the grind. It's just for the grind. Because I had a set date. It was July 16th at 12 p.m. I remember. I called my friend who was my co-host. I was like, hey, bro, you got to get the other equipment because it's like a limit. He was like, yeah, I can't make it. I was like, whoa. Mind you, this was the day before. I was like, what's going on? I'm confused. Like, you saying words, but it's not, like, I'm not understanding what you're saying. He was like, yeah, I can't make it. And then I was like, wait. And he was like, yeah, but we can reschedule. It's all cool. I was like, what the fuck? No, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I remember that day, I was just crying. Also too, like, I was just confused. I was like, I had the option. I said, I could just get rid of all of this. I could go to either law school, I could get my MBA, or I could go to med school, and I could just forget all about like all of this. But while I was crying, there was just something in me that was just like, don't stop, just don't stop. So I hit up my old camera person. I was like, okay, bro, we gotta reschedule. I hit up the studio. I was like, we gotta reschedule. They was like, okay, that's fine. This was in July, by the way. So I took 2 weeks to just regroup, to just get everything together. But in the midst of me getting stuff together, I got the call that I got accepted into Kennesaw State. And I got a full scholarship, graduate, assistantship, all of that. So I don't know, it was weird. Although I was kind of suffering, getting that news, it kind of just let me know that I was going in the right direction. Because I also learned this year that, see, I think with God, what's not for you, it's just not gonna be for you. But what is for you is not gonna pass. So by getting that call that I got accepted into grad school, it just let me know, like, okay, my career path, this is like what I want to do. I'm on the right direction. So August came around, and I situated everything out with the studio. I had my plan on, going to Adderholt to get the equipment. And look, this is gonna be a one-man show. I was like, all right, let's go. 5 days before I had to film, my camera, my old camera person, I called him like, hey, what's up? So, this is what we gonna do. Like, I hope you excited. Like, let's go. He was like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, oh, wow, yeah. On the inside, I was like, bro, what the fuck going on? Like, bro. So, I don't know, though. It was weird. In that moment, most people would have been like, all right, girl, I think that's a sign. Like, just pack this shit up. But, it was weird. I was like, I'm gonna just keep on going, And I think I don't know if I was operating off of like delusion or off of faith. It could be a mix of both, or maybe it was just delusion. I don't know. But I don't know. Something in me was just like, hey, just keep on going. So I hit up, I went on Twitter, I went on Instagram. I just typed in podcast, video people, ATL, photographers, videographers, all of that. I came across something called Revamp Digital, and I was like, let me go on their website and fill out a little thing. And then this guy had called me back in like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh shit, that was really fast. And we were talking, and he was like, okay, I'll hit you back. But I'm like, bro, I got like 3 days. Like, can you fucking hurry up? So, I probably DM'd like maybe like 30 people in like the span of like 2 days, just explaining myself. I got a lot of, I would love to, but I'm not available right now. Hey, do you think we could do this in like November? And I was like, I have a film date for, what was it? I can't remember if it was end of August or like early September. But I was like, okay, I'm getting a little nervous, but I'm gonna just keep on. So I was emailing people, I was DMing people on Twitter, all of that. I was getting the same response. So I was like, if this guy from Revamp Digital, if I talked to him on the phone on Friday and he said that he'll get back to me on Sunday, this nigga ain't hit me back. So maybe I should just hit him back. And I texted him and he was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. So I was like, oh God, thank you. and then he was like, yeah, like I see the vision. I want to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So, I was like, wow, I think things are really going in the right direction. So, I planned out my little show. Things were a little, I don't want to say like rocky, but I think things happened a little faster than what I had thought. Like, I don't know, it's weird. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't think this fast. So I remember I was like, okay, how do I want to like go about with this like rebrand? And I was really struggling, but I was like, it's show day. So let's, keep the ball rolling. So I pulled up to the studio, and I remember, the owner came out. He was like, hey, we don't have a spot confirmed for you. I was like, God, please don't do this to me right now. And I was like, oh, I was talking to someone over the phone and they confirmed. And he was like, but you canceled so many times. Because, I didn't have a fucking team. And I wasn't going to do this shit by myself. I didn't have no fucking equipment. So that's what I said in my brain. I didn't say that out loud. But he was like, because, it's like you canceling like a hair appointment. Eventually, the hairstylist is going to get tired. That's what that nigga told me. So I was like, okay, well, I do apologize. But, I have people coming. I can't reschedule. And he was like, well, what price did you, did you and whoever you spoke with agreed upon? And I was like, oh, $150. And he was like, $150? We charge like $200 an hour. I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You fucking for real? So he, and then the spot in the studio that I picked out, he was like, they don't own it, so I can't film there. So he put me in this fucking janky ass fucking room. The chair was fucking broke. But I was like, okay, yeah, this will work. So at this point, the camera person pulls up, and I think he saw my face that I looked a little distressed. But this is my first time meeting him. So I couldn't, tell him what was actually going on. So I was like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. And then the owner was like, I mean, I can let you film here for this day, but it's okay. When you're done filming, we could, work out the details afterwards. So I said, yeah, okay, bet. Yeah. So we have filmed. I remember we had filmed, and my heart was just beating so fast because I was just like, damn, I'm so scared. And then on top of that, I don't want the camera person to quit because it took us like 10 takes to do something that the show was literally like, 25 minutes. And it took like 10 takes. And then we did a second episode, and that shit was like 20 takes. And the thing is, the second episode was only like 7 minutes long. So then I don't want him to think like, I'm like fucking crazy. And then I was nervous that day for a particular reason. And yeah, that day was really crazy. It's really cool that we can like look back and laugh on it. But anyway, afterwards, I remember a couple days later, I had hit up, my camera person, and I was like, "So, what'd you think?" And he was like, "No, I thought it was really dope." And I was like, "Oh my god, I thought he was gonna quit or some shit." Um, but I don't know. It was just little stuff like that that just let me know that I was going on the right path. Yeah. So, but the problem was I didn't have a studio because I was gonna pay $200 an hour. So my camera person was like, "Hey, Pierce, have you heard of Peerspace?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, just look on there." So I went on like a Peerspace binge for like 3 days straight, and I was in between two studios. And then I don't know. I was just like, God, just let your will be done and just lead me. And he led me to like this one particular studio, the one I'm filming at now. And I don't know, it was really crazy. Everything just felt like it was just working out. Um, as time went on, I'm getting guests, I'm doing my thing, and I don't know, I enjoyed it, but I just felt like I could have just been better, but I didn't know how to get better. So pretty much at the end of almost every taping, the guy who owns the studio and my camera person, we normally kind of like sit back for a little bit and they like critique me, which I'm really grateful for because no one's ever really like done that. Like I always ask for advice, but people either like don't really give it to me or they're not like really straight up. And like the guy who owns the studio, he's like really, really transparent, and I like really, really appreciate that. So we were talking one day and he was like, "Well, why'd you like leave your old, internship?" And I was like, things don't work out. But I did tell him that there was something that I was working on that I was kind of sad that I didn't get to like complete, and it was a pitch deck. And he was like, "Oh, well, we're working on a pitch deck." And I was like, "Oh, word." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, if you could help us out with that, that would like, I'll be really grateful for it." And I was like, "Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not no like pitch deck connoisseur, but I do know a thing or two." Yeah. So I remember, it's weird because to him, it was probably just like, "Oh yeah, I found this girl that could like help out." But for me, it really meant something because like I said, I was working on a pitch deck before and things like fell through. So the fact that I met someone that was like, "Yo, I think, you're really dope. I think you're really dope at like what you do." And like, I'm really like appreciative. Like, it's just things like that. Like, I don't know, y'all. I just like little things because I feel like the little things help me know that I'm moving in the right direction. So time goes on, right? I'm in grad school. I'm taking this class called Popular Culture in the South. And I'm writing papers on like Gucci Mane's influence on the South, Trap House 3. I'm writing think pieces on, DJ Drama and the Gangsta Grills era and, Migos and what they did for trap. And then it just let me know, like, bro, I know, like, I really, really know what I want to do. I want to be able to explain hip hop stories. I want to be able to explain, what the actual genre does for the culture to an audience that's really just unfamiliar. And everything from the critique from, the people that I work with to the critique from, my professor, it just let me know that, one, I had to like really like align myself. Like if I'm gonna do this, then like everyone keeps it real with me too. They like, "Bro, if you're gonna do this, like you gotta do this shit for real. Like it's not for play." And then they let me know too, like, I see it in you, but you gotta like push. Like you gotta like push that shit out. And I don't know, it's just stuff like that that's like really, really grateful because this is it makes me really, really grateful, my bad, because it's been a journey just going through grief, not knowing how to, well, I don't want to say that I don't know how to properly grieve. It's just I don't know. It's new. So sometimes my emotions, I get sad. Like I'll be straight, and then all of a sudden it's like this random wave of sadness, and it's like, okay, I don't know where this I don't know where this came from. What's going on, and it's figuring out, how can I boost this platform to, you know, the next level. It's figuring out, making sure that my content is really attention grabbing. Like it's just a lot of things that, I'm figuring out, but I'm grateful that God has aligned me with the right people because I don't know, I think back to that day in July when I was crying, when I was walking in the hot sun with this fucking 5 pounds of equipment on my back, to my car almost getting towed, to, me not being able to film at the studio that I thought was my dream studio. And I don't know, like, not saying I get emotional because I'm not an emotional person, like I don't cry. But, I'm just grateful because a year ago to this day, I was filming with other people at the CMI building, and a year later, like I never imagined this really. Um, so I guess like what's next for From the Block? I'm really excited for next year, but I can't cap sometimes. So what I learned this year is that, I mean, we see them like generic Instagram quotes like, hey, live your life because you only get one life. But I think I finally understood that life is really uncertain. Like really anything can happen. And that's not on no like depressive shit, but that's just, a certain level of just understanding that life is really, really uncertain. So it's really imperative that you seize every moment because you literally like things can happen in the blink of an eye. Literally. Like I've experienced that firsthand. So I guess really just seizing each moment and just amplifying it. Cause I mean my mindset, I'm young, I'm 23, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm not broke, so I'm like I ain't got no excuse but to go hard, really. I'm nowhere where I want to be at financially, but I'm really grateful because goddamn January was something. I ain't never experienced nothing like that before. But I'm excited for where this platform's gonna go. I'm still figuring out some stuff I want to do content wise, but one thing I'm excited about too is just trial and error. So trying out different stuff, seeing if it works. I'm excited for y'all, right? Growing my platform. I'm so happy for the folks that have like DM'd me, send me words of encouragement. Hit me up on TikTok. And you guys are like really, really awesome. So I really appreciate this because, like I said, a year ago, like this wasn't really a thing. So, I'm really, really grateful. And I guess just overall, I do want to expand my team. I gotta like plan it out and organize it more. But I definitely want to expand. Bring more, not like get like a super big team because I really don't believe in that. But just probably adding like maybe like 2 or 3 people. Definitely having merch, just like things like that. Okay, so yeah, guys, I just want to say that I'm super, super blessed. I'm super, super grateful. And yeah, hopefully you guys, learned a little bit more about me. So yeah, make sure you guys follow at From the Block on all social media platforms, at From the Block Podcast. And see you guys in 2023. I'm super excited.